So somebody asked me a while ago, what's the difference between college life and after college life? Right? And the time frames is simple. The average college student is between 18 to 22, and the after college life that I've experienced so far is before 30. So this person asked me this. She was in college, who had just graduated, and was wondering, hey, like, how is it after college? And I'm taking a bit of a low vibe approach to this because I'd argue it's an up and down type of situation. We know in college our peaks are capped and our lows are also capped in terms of, if we're just strictly focused on school, work, and sometimes life or family life gets in the way. For the most part, our ups are capped because we can only do so much such that we enjoy life, but we're capped because we don't have the time, we don't have the money. So our upside is limited. Our downside could be it could stretch a bit further down, but also capped because we haven't lived long enough to get attached to certain things, to buy certain things, to experience certain things that will throw us in the limbo. And of course, I'm talking about the average, right? We know certain people have lived a worse life than others, and it shows. But to my point, in college, your experiences are capped because resources are limited, and your experiences will also be limited too. Life after college is where you start to, of course, expand that sinusoidal wave, where like your happy experience or enjoying life experiences could be exponential, or is definitely a lot bigger than before because you have a lot more resources and time, freedom to toss into enjoying your life. But what's also true is that your negatives is also a lot lower too, because as time progresses, we have our loved ones experience unfortunate accidents. We have more time to make mistakes, and if those mistakes are done in such a way where it's grave, then it just further pulls down our energy, our vibe. And this is the part of the graph that I live in, right? I experienced tons of upside, also experienced tons of downside. And so when I think of this, as I was trying to develop an answer for my friend, I told her it goes up and down. It gets a lot better, and it also gets a lot worse. And what am I trying to say in this video is simple. We have a lot of upside, we have a lot of downside. It's a bit harder to stay in the average because we have something pulling you up, at the same time we have things pulling you down. And so the message is simple. It's hard to continue when you have so many things going against you and going for you, because you don't know to what extent, right? We don't know how much of this is sustainable. We don't know if you've peaked yet. We don't know if something bad is going to happen in the future. There's a lot of unknowns, right, that you wouldn't otherwise think in college. When you think what you have in mind in college is your test grades, is job after college, is making this money, right, and hopefully not be in debt. And for the most part, that makes sense, right? That's all we have to lose and gain, right? But as you get older and you start building things and you make more connections, and people do get older, there's a lot more time to get or to make mistakes. There's a lot more time for things to happen to you, and that's where it starts to get a bit more unpredictable and unstable. And of course, it just affects you as time progresses. And it's important to understand that there's a lot of resources out there for anybody to use to try to be in a stable mind or to cope in any situation that they find themselves in. And so the question was the inspiration of this video. The question was simple: how was life after college? How was life after anything, really? Because finishing college is just something similar as finishing a video game that you're really into, or watching a Netflix series that you to have more episodes for it. And then as soon as you finish the episode, as soon as you finish the video game, you sit there and you ask yourself, okay, what's next? What's next is the question, and it's hard because the answer isn't apparent, isn't simple. It's just more living, it's just more experiencing. But I like to add a little caveat to that. I've started working since I was young, and all I've done since I've started working was just saving money. And of course, I've used it to, buy certain experiences, to deal with certain experiences, etc. But for the most part, I knew I was striving towards something. I just never knew. And for the most part, I still don't know what that is. but at least I'm in a very better position now than I was then. And what I want to communicate to everybody who's listening right now is this: you may keep living, you may keep enduring, but it's also important to stack up certain skills, certain resources that you will use. Another example is gym, right? You want to stack on top of your health, right? You want to be able to lift heavy. You want to be able to have full range of motion of all your limbs without it hurting, right? You want to be healthy, so you want to be prone to any diseases. You want your cardio to be excellent, right? You want your body physique to be attractive. You know, these characteristics in terms of fitness is it just stacks one on top of the other, right? You don't just want to be super muscular, but you're also big. You don't also want to be very agile and skinny, but you can't really lift. So trying to find a happy medium, maybe specialize or focus on one of them to really have you well rounded. And that's the point of my message. Life after anything that you've spent so much time focusing on so it can become a thing, it's hard. But the good side is that because you have more free time to do lots of things, you get to experience and do a lot of upside. But at the same time, as time progresses, we start to lose time. We start to get older. Other people start to get older too, and there are a lot more opportunities for bad things to happen. And so, when it does happen, your downside experiences are also really. So, does it get better after college? Yes. Does it also get worse after college? I would say so too. But I want to say that your potential in life is it appears like a slow linear graph, or maybe like the early stages of the exponential. You just want to ask yourself a simple question: is like, how do you compare against everybody else around you? Even though you don't want to, but you just can't help to know how well you do against other people in your profile. And so I want to stop the video ending on this message here. Is if there's something negative happening, just keep going. And if there's something positive happening, enjoy it while it lasts. You know, I hate to end the video in such a bad or negative tone, but I think it's true. Enjoy it while it lasts. If it's something positive, if it's something negative that's happening in your life, endure. There's always going to be upside, and you're always going to be increasing. Assuming that you're disciplined or really are trying to do something with your life, it's just hard. But one day, your future self will thank you.